What's up? It's your boy Kazi. Welcome to Kazi Plays. And listen, are you guys tired of losing matches because you can't vanish these supers or ults? Well, don't worry, because today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to get the timing down so you'll be able to vanish these super and ultimates and win more of your matches. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with supers, let's first talk about rush supers. Now with rush supers, the reason why it's so hard to vanish these supers is because of the fact that not everybody's rush super is at the same speed. For example, like base Super Goku, his rush move is a lot slower than somebody like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So the best way to get the hang of this is that you need to look for this window right here where the opponent is about to get into your face. To help you out so you can start learning to recognize this window, start off with somebody who has a slow rush move like base Goku Super, and then once you can get the hang of his timing, then move up to somebody who has a faster one like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and then start looking for his, because obviously with him, since he's a lot faster, you're going to need to be able to recognize that and react to it a lot quicker. Next, let's talk about the teleporting supers. Now with teleporting supers, what makes them so dangerous is the fact that they don't gotta fly up to you at all. All they gotta do is that once they pop the super, they'll instantly teleport to the location that you're at. And it's surprisingly easy to vanish these supers. All you gotta do is that when they pop the super, an animation is gonna play, right? So the second the animation finishes and they're about to actually teleport in, that's when you want to go ahead and press your vanish button, and you will avoid that super every time. Moving on, let's go over Ki Blast supers. Now, the main reason why they struggle so much vanishing against Ki Blast supers is because there are so many projectiles that are coming at them that they feel a bit overwhelmed. Well, don't worry, because Ki Blast supers are very forgiving. Obviously, if you want to get the perfect vanish, you wait until that first Ki Blast is about to hit you, and then you can vanish and move out of the way. However, if you can't get the timing down completely, you can let the first Ki Blast hit you, then once it hits you, press the vanish button, and you'll vanish, but you won't vanish completely out of the way. You'll have to block and hold the rest of the Ki Blast, but you won't take the full damage. Now let's talk about projectile supers. The main reason why a lot of people are having a hard time vanishing projectile supers is because they're probably doing it too early. With these projectile supers, majority of the time, they're not as fast as like your typical other supers, for example like rush supers. So actually what you want to do is that you want to wait until it gets about right in front of your face, and then you can go ahead and vanish it. However, there are a few exceptions, like for example Super Saiyan Gotenks, where his Galactic Donuts is one of the fastest projectiles in his game. And with characters like him, what you want to do is that the second the animation ends, that's when you need to pop your vanish button, because if you even wait even half a second late, then you're gonna get hit by the super. Up next, let's go over beam supers. Now with beam supers, the main issue is that a lot of players, what they do is that they pop their vanish button a little too early, and as a result they take a bit of damage and then end up blocking the rest of it. So for the timing to get the vanish down is that you gotta wait until the beam is literally in your face, like right in your face, and then you go ahead and press the vanish button. And then once you do, you'll be able to vanish the beam completely. And finally, the last super type we're gonna talk about is explosion supers. Now the main reason why a lot of players struggle when dealing with explosive supers is the fact that they don't know when to actually pop the vanish button, and either they just mistime it and take the hit of the explosion, or B, they just go ahead and block it. So what you want to do is that wait until the character finishes charging up the super, and that split second right when they're about to actually unleash the explosion, that's when you want to pop the vanish. So to help you guys out on how to practice vanishing these supers, what you can do is that you can head over to training. Once you do, go ahead and pick your characters, and then once you get into the game, pause and then head over to training settings. Then head down to opponent settings, and then under strategy you want to look for rush type blast and beam type blast. For rush type blast, it'll help you with practicing on how to vanish rush supers, teleporting supers, and explosion supers. And for beam type blast, it'll help you with practicing Ki Blast supers, projectile supers, and beam supers. If you made it this far into the video and want to dive further into the community, I do got a Discord, link will be in the description below. There we talk about Sparking Zero, anime, manga, and whatnot. And also, you'll be able to stay notified about everything that happens on the channel. So if you're interested, feel free to stop by. We'll love to have you. Moving on, let's go over how to Vanish Ultimates. And the first on the list is how to Vanish Rush Ultimates. Now, with Rush Ults, the main issue that a lot of players they struggle with is because of the speed of the ult. With the ult, they're not too slow to the point where you can just like dodge out and get out of the way, but they're also not fast enough to the point where you can just vanish it easily, because they're right in the middle to the point where if you're not patient enough, you'll recover too early and get caught in a whole movie. So when they pop their ult, you need to be patient. Wait until they're right in front of you. Once you do, then you can go ahead and vanish this. If you do it too early, you recover, and mid-recovery you'll get hit with the ult. Next, let's talk about beam ultimates. Now with beam ultimates, the biggest mistake that a lot of players do is that they assume that the timing for a beam super is the same as the timing for a beam ultimate, and that's not the case at all. If you actually look closely, whenever somebody's popping a beam ultimate, like for example Vegito Blue with his final Kamehameha, one thing that every beam ultimate does is that there is a second of a delay before the actual beam comes out. So what you can do, obviously you gotta wait for the whole animation to play out, but once it does, wait for the actual beam to come out, and then when it gets right in your face and is about to hit you, that's when you want to pop the vanish button, so then you can go ahead and avoid that ultimate. Next, let's talk about Ki Blast ultimates. Now the main issue with Ki Blast ultimates is that a lot of people don't notice that compared to regular Ki Blast supers, they're slightly faster, which throws off your timing a bit whenever you're trying to vanish it. So because Ki Blast ultimates are a bit faster than Ki Blast supers, so you're going to need to vanish a little sooner than you would with a Ki Blast super. Moving on, let's talk about Explosion ultimates. With Explosion ultimates, it's the same with Explosion supers, where a lot of players, they don't know the timing on when to vanish it at all. The big difference between the ultimate and the super is that with the ultimate, the actual charge up animation is part of the actual cutscene, where with the actual super, the charge up animation is part of the actual super itself and not part of some cutscene. Because of this, this makes it a lot easier for you to vanish this over the super. So what you would want to do is that the second they actually finish the cutscene, there's gonna be a split second before they actually do the explosion. That's where you want to go ahead and press your vanish button. And finally, let's talk about Orb Ultimates. And basically what I mean by Orb Ultimates, it's all of those giant spear ball ultimates, like for example Goku's all of his spirit bombs, Beerus' Spear of Destruction, or even Broly's ultimate with Omega Blaster. The main issue with Orb Ultimates is that a lot of players, they vanish way too early whenever somebody pops an Orb Ultimate like a Spirit Bomb, and as a result they get hit by the ultimate. And unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure every Orb Ultimate is an unblockable. Goku's Spirit Bomb is unblockable, Beerus' Spear of Destruction is unblockable, even Broly's Omega Blaster is unblockable. So there are two timings you have to learn. When you're really close to them, for example, let's use Goku with his Spirit Bomb. What you want to do is that the second he is moving his hands to throw the Spirit Bomb, that's when you want to pop the vanish button. But if you're getting knocked back away and you're flying and he's popping the ultimate, wait until you actually get out of the animation and you actually see the Spirit Bomb. Once that happens, then you can go ahead and pop your vanish button. So if you want to practice on how to vanish these ultimates, so you want to head back over to training, then go over to your training settings and over to opponent settings, and under strategy you want to look for the one that says attack strategy ultimate blast and set it all the way up to super, and that's how to vanish all the types of supers and ultimates. But if I did leave something out, or if you discovered something new, feel free to put it in the comments below to share with everyone else to help each other out. But yeah, if you do want more Sparking Zero on the channel, why don't you know, go to support your boy. But y'all gonna catch y'all in the next one. Y'all take it easy.